Hi, welcome everyone to another one of our heart-powered, inspiring interviews. And as you know, on a regular basis, we present you and introduce you to an incredible change maker, entrepreneur, speaker, and really like change maker in the world. And today, I have a really great friend of mine here with me. Her name is Madi Sharma, and Madi, I mean, our history goes back to quite a while, right? I think the first time we met was at a European Parliament building where both of us were part of a panel, right? To
Yeah.
support young entrepreneurs this way. And it was really great to have you back then. And, we have been in touch since. And I know that you are, you are such an inspiration to many in so many ways. And so who is Madi before, I can keep raving about who she is and what she does, but let me give her a proper introduction. Madi Sharma is the founder and she's also an award-winning entrepreneur behind the Madi Group. And her Madi Group and lives the philosophy to create innovative ideas tailored to local action, which can achieve global impacts that are beneficial to society. And she calls herself, and she's by a lot of people, she's called like from victim to change maker, as her personal experience has really taken her through the university of life in so many ways, from being a victim of domestic violence and being a single parent, really being like rock bottom. And I love that about your story, Mari. And she has become like a really striving entrepreneur and inspirational speaker, and she's so much more. And today, Madi has been termed as social capitalist as she invests profits from her work into advocacy and the empowerment of others in so many ways. Madi, it's great to have you today. Welcome.
No, it's great. Thank you very much. And you made me sound really boring when we say that we met in the European Parliament and it looks like we're decision makers and working on blah, blah. We're not about that at all. The difference between with you and me to a lot of people, Monique, is the fact that we're focused on action.
Yes.
So it's not about the talk. And I know that the people that you're inspiring through your heart-powered community are also action focused.
Yes,
So
very
let's
much.
talk about the action focus,
Absolutely.
especially as we come out of COVID.
You and I, we both stand in the arena every single day, right? So
Yep.
we are actually there. We are with the feet in the mud, right? And still, right, we move things forward every day. So, Madi, I know, the business you've built, the Madi Group, with all these different, opportunities. Why don't you tell me, what are you doing right now, especially in the current times, to again expand the Madi Group to make an even bigger impact with what you're doing?
So the Madi Group, we focus on different business to business trainings, empowerments, all sorts of different things, putting entrepreneurs together, all that sort of thing. That's where my profit comes from. And it's boring, but it's fun. But actually, it's the things I do outside of there that are actually the most important to me. And we're currently just building something called EU Buzz, which is an aggregator of EU information. So I was working in one of the EU institutions before Brexit, and one of the things that we understood was that the average businesses, the yous and me's, and the average people have no idea how to access all the opportunities that are there within the European Union institutions, and have no idea how to even access the politicians who are making the decisions on the people's behalves. So we're starting this portal. It's just in its beta phase, but it has on it job opportunities, consultations by the commissions, tender opportunities, so that everybody can access it. You don't have to go through all these different channels. And at the same time, I'm also working on it's not my idea, it's somebody else that I'm helping, but I've become a global chair for advocacy and communication, is the G100. So it's about empowering women across the world, and we have the ambition to reach 5 million women by 2025. And so far, we're on 250,000 women. And we've created a platform where the women can intertrade. and it's all for free. We're creating the mentoring system, and there's some really, really high-powered women who are behind this. So each one of us has adopted as a global chair. We've adopted to take on 100 other women from 100 different countries, and they adopt to take on the county levels also. And I intend to drag you into this, Monique, as well, because of your advocacy and your communication skills. You're the type of woman that I'm looking for, that can put your hand out and pull another woman up. You know, that's my passion.
That's, you know, again, everything starts getting created from intention, right? I love that. So, but you know, I mean, our community is entrepreneurs and speakers, right? So I love what you're talking about, like really shifting things in a big way. A lot of the people we work with, they have these big ambitions. They want their message to touch millions. They want to really build not just a business, but really a legacy, and they want to really become massive change makers in the world, right?
Yep.
So why don't you tell us a little more about what do you do to take kind of these kind of visions that, you know, like your passion projects or even your business? Now, how do you take that vision and you make it real? And not only you make it real and you play small with it, but, you know, what are the major steps to take you know, a passion, a mission, a vision, and really make it real, but go big with it from the beginning? What are the major ingredients?
So you can't go big with anything from the beginning. That's the most important thing. That's the biggest mistake that people make, right? So I'm going to give you 7 Fs. These are my 7 Madi-No-Excuses Fs. So the first F is fantasize. So that's the big global vision. That's the dream, right? If you can have anything in the world that you want, do anything in the world that you want to do. Nobody can stop you. There's no reasons why you can't do it. What is it that you would do? And question is, why would you also do it? Most people cannot even get through that first point. In fact, 95% of people cannot tell me what it is that they really want to do. So that's the first one, fantasize. We then have to get that fantasy which is in your head and which nobody else can touch or destroy. We then have to get that fantasy down and out of your head and onto a piece of paper. Write down on the top of the piece of paper what it is that you want to do. So the first thing that you will say to me is the second F. Is it feasible? Everything is feasible and everything is possible. So therefore you can do it, whatever it is, but you've got to know what it is that you want to do and why you want to do it. Yeah. So once you've got it down on your piece of paper, we're now going to make it feasible, which is the third F, which is foundation. When you build a house, you build it on foundations. Your foundations are the knowledge that you have. But not just your knowledge, the connections of the people you have and the knowledge that they have, the internet, the research, the marketing, the DNA of your company. What is your company, or what do you stand for? All that is your foundation. It's then down to number 4, which is fit for purpose. Are you 100% up here? Do you 100% believe in what you're going to do and why you are doing it? The difference it's going to make to the world, because that's going to be what comes out in your communication method. If you don't know what it is, you can't communicate it. And if you hesitate, people then know you don't believe in yourself or your idea. Yeah, right. So you've got to be fit for purpose. So that means I want you 100% positive, 100% of the time. Which is then Europe's favorite word, number 5, failure. There is no such thing as failure. If we didn't fail, we wouldn't learn. Failure is the chance to have another go intelligently. So get rid of this fear of failure. And here's the point everyone needs to remember. You know, we don't fear failure. We fear success. Because if this is going to succeed, if you get an order for 1 million products, how are you going to deal with it? Where am I going to get the factory? You start worrying about that before you've even got your first order. And that's actually what stops you, not the fear of failure. So number 6 is focus. Can you see your destination? Where is it you want to go? And when you close your eyes, you should be able to see that. When you close your eyes, when you talk to somebody, you should be able to immediately relate what is on the piece of paper that you've already written. If it takes you less than 30 seconds to make a decision, you don't know what your mind wants. And that's the important thing. I can say to you, do you want a coffee? Do you want milk in it or not? And you can give me an answer in 30 seconds, within 30 seconds. But when I ask you about your business and where it's going and who you want to meet and how much it needs, can you answer that within 30 seconds? That's what's important. And number 7 is what you and me are. It's the face. It's the way you project yourself. How you will be in 5 years' time is what people need to see today. I am the most successful entrepreneur in the world. And believe it and say it and tell them why you're the most successful entrepreneur in the world. That's it. 7 F's, simple. How to turn an idea into an action.
Okay, so now all you know, okay? And I know a lot of you, everyone that's with us today already has, a lot of them have already launched, right? But still, I love this framework because I think that this is a framework you cannot only use at the beginning, although it's a fantastic framework to build a foundation and a solid foundation. It's also a framework you can use again and again to fine tune and tweak things. Because again, every level, right, needs again a new type of foundation, right? I love that. And
so just let me explain that one of the biggest mistakes that entrepreneurs often make is, so in the Madi group, we don't believe in 2 things. We don't believe in CVs and we don't believe in business plans. And what happens with a business plan is at the start of the business, people make the business plan, they open the drawer when the bank gives them the money and they put the business plan in the drawer. Yeah. The business plan is a working document.
Yes.
My 7 F's are 7 F's that keep working. You should at least once a month check yourself into a hotel and have what we call me time. Yeah. That's time for just you. And in that time in that hotel, you start to fantasize. Is everything going the way you want it to be going? Are you changing the vision? Why is it changing? What's worked, what's not worked, and all of that is what still stays in your head. Yeah. And then you start to pull it down and go through the rest of the F's. Have you failed along the way? Does something need adjusting?
What have you learned from it, right? How do we turn a failure into opportunity and everything? I mean, as I always say all the time, as you know, also mentors of mine said in the past, our greatest job as entrepreneurs is thinking. Right. Yeah. So again, it's a great framework. All of you, I hope you take a lot of notes. Okay. I think this framework is going to help you to turn your big ideas into a solid launch and start. Because again, as you said, Madi, as much as your fantasize point is called fantasize, if you don't go beyond fantasizing, you never create anything. And as you said, when you launch something, you don't go big right away, but you want to go and take the first steps with a big vision in mind, because then you start going different types of people and take different steps to really make a big impact eventually.
I just pick up on your fantasize into action.
Yes, of course.
99% of people FTI fail to implement. Yeah. 99% of people. And it's the 1% that turn those ideas into action are the entrepreneurs.
Exactly. Yeah. Great, love it. Okay, Madi, I know we speak a lot about thinking, and and yeah, this is the foundation of everything. But also I think we need to feel, we need to connect with our heart, and heart holds power, right? So as you know, our business called Heart-Powered Business. I'd love to know from you, what does it mean for you to run a business in a heart-powered way?
Okay, there isn't any business that is not heart powered. Okay, I have to be very clear on that. Heart powered is understanding that you know what you want. It's you understanding you know how to say no. But it's also about understanding that you will succeed if you take others along with you. And I'll bring it back to, so when I first started my first business, all of my employees, every single one of them, and we had 25, were long-term unemployed. I gave them a chance. And equally, they repaid the favor by giving me a chance. And they helped my business grow. And as a result of them not having been in the workplace for a long period of time, we established different working methods to a lot of other people. We embraced mistakes because we worked out that embracing mistakes actually gave us innovation. And one of our best-selling products was as a result of a mistake that happened in the factory. And so being heart
Why don't you tell us that story? That sounds intriguing.
Oh, it was, I don't believe in micromanaging. So I can do every job in the food factory. When we had the food factory, I can do every job in the food factory. But when you had been with my company for 3 months, you were given the title of supervisor. So at one point we had 15 supervisors. And it was because valuing somebody with a title was actually more important than valuing somebody with money. Because when they go out in the street, they tell people they're a supervisor at Original Eastern Foods, and they're proud of themselves, and their families are proud of them. But with that supervisor title, we gave them responsibility. And so they had to train the staff. And when I came back, because I used to do the sales, and when I came back at the end of the day, they would tell me what had gone right and what had gone wrong in the factory. And one day they came to me and they said, one of the new starters, now they were the ones who employed the starters, one of the new starters had made a mistake and hadn't sealed the samosas properly. So we were making Indian snack food products, and they hadn't sealed the product properly. As a result, when the product hits the fryer, they all came open, all the fillings came out. So I said, okay, so you wasted all that food. Now, they were on a waste bonus. The less they wasted, the more money they got in their pay packet. So they said, yes, but we have a solution. And they presented me a package with these scoops of pastry and curry sauce on the other side. The next day I took them out and people thought they were amazing. So you got these curry scoops and they could go in the microwave, be eaten. It was one of our best sellers for the food service sector.
I love that. And again, it's these kind of stories that really bring the point across. So, all of you listen to that kind of story. And I remember how you told me how you started your business originally, going to supermarkets with your few samosas.
Yeah.
And, again, it's these kind of failures that create the greatest opportunities. So thank you for sharing that story. Okay. So yeah, so what, you said that you were running things differently. You say that you gave your employees different titles, or you gave them a title where they felt proud. And it's so important because it's, as you said, we are not doing, especially entrepreneurs often, we are not doing what we're doing because, yes, of course, you want to make good money, right? I mean, that's what a business is about.
Yeah.
But it's because who we are becoming along the way. So what, so what are other practices that you use to really show people that they're powerful and, they're connected from their heart?
Well, so take it on. So I lost the food company. and promised myself I would never employ anybody else again. My staff were like my family. I loved my staff. You spend more time with your staff than you do with your own kids. So to make 25 people redundant when it wasn't my fault was it really made me sick. And I promised never to put myself or anybody else in that position again. Roll on a few years later, and I started to meet people who started to ask me for jobs and things. And I couldn't help it. I love people, so I started to employ people. But this time we did it differently because we weren't working in a factory, and so we didn't need an office. And I've always said that an office is an ego. It's somewhere that you expect people to come and see you. No, that is wrong. You have to go to see your customers. You have to show how important your customers are to you, so you go to them. So we didn't need an office. My PA sits in her home in Delhi, and my commercial team sit in Macedonia, in their houses.
Yeah, of course.
And I have been screaming and shouting at, including the CEO of Microsoft and others, when I get to sit and talk to people. And I have been standing up on a stage saying, we don't need officers. We should be allowing people to work from home where they are comfortable. They can put their lives around the work. They can switch on and off when they want. They can do their care responsibilities if they have them. And everybody's turning around to me and going, no, Madi, that doesn't work. It might work in a small company. Guess what happens when COVID comes along?
Exactly. The little virus helped you on your ambassador role, right?
We were already doing it. We hit the ground running. We didn't lose a client. We didn't lose any business. And my team was so happy to be at home with their families. One of them actually moved out of the city and went back home. And we've all continued to work. And we've now proven to the big commercial centres, even in London, that working from home, your staff are happier, they're more productive. I ask all the entrepreneurs out there watching this, stop micromanaging. Trust your staff. Give them responsibility, let them make mistakes, and let them offer you solutions to the mistakes that they have made.
Absolutely.
Remove the blame culture. At the end of the day, everything is your fault.
Yes.
So everything is my fault. That my staff know that, my team know that, everything. Because if they make a mistake, it was because I communicated wrongly what I wanted doing, or I didn't train them properly.
It's just all about taking responsibility, right? And again, when we take responsibility, our staff does too, right? So again, I love it. And, there's so much more. We can probably spend hours on that conversation, right? But, again, like we've been running a virtual business for many years, pretty much from the beginning. And still, I appreciate it for a lot of organizations and business owners at the moment. It's challenging to build a bridge and transition. But, Madi, I also know what you said earlier. You and I, we are actually action takers, right?
Yep.
And it's the action, and it's often consistent action that gets us results and success. So taking consistent action is like a habit, right?
Yep.
So what is like one success habit that got you to where you are today?
Oh God, that's really difficult.
There's probably a lot, so just pick the one that comes to your mind.
There is a lot, but there's one successful tip that I would say has got me up to where, and that's saying thank you. And I'm sorry, I know people don't count that as an action. They don't. But we are all observing each other. People are observing you all the time and you don't know it. Who is the most important person in a work organization? the majority of people will say the CEO or the entrepreneur who have started that in that organization. Most of us will say for Amazon, it's Jeff Bezos. It isn't. It's the person who cleans the toilet, because nobody would go to work if the toilet wasn't clean, and nobody would go to an organization if their toilet wasn't clean as a customer. For me, the most important person is the toilet cleaner, and I have always made every effort to continually say thank you to the person who's ignored, basically to the toilet cleaner, to the person who cleans the street. Now, this is going to sound really strange, but I've got business that way because people have seen that it's not just the way that I treat my staff, but it's the way that I treat others around me. And people have sent customers to me who are just people that I've met in the street and said hello. Yeah. Don't be fooled by anybody's visual outlook. Just make friends, make conversations, talk to people. You learn so much. That is an action we really underestimate. We have a habit of pretending to be more superior than others, and it will be your downfall.
And again, what does it mean when we say thank you? It means I see you, I appreciate you.
Exactly.
Okay. And it makes the world of a difference to everyone around us, okay, to them, because so many people are not feeling seen in the current times, right? They're not feeling appreciated.
Exactly.
And you know, again, this little word thank you, or two words thank you, makes all the difference, right?
Yeah.
So I love that. Madi, you and I could keep talking forever, right? But let's start rounding it off. And I'd like to ask you, because as you and I know, taking action is so important. Like, from our conversation, you know, what we normally do on these interviews, every time we run an interview, we ask our guests for just one suggestion of what is one thing, everyone that is with us today, what is the one thing they can do today to kind of really bring their business in their life to the next level?
So it's exactly what I said. I want you to take, this is your homework. I want you to take a blank piece of paper. And I want you to write on it, on the top of it, exactly what it is that you want to do, you want to achieve. I want a timeline. Normally, you would have 30 seconds to do this exercise. I want you to imagine I am the genie in the bottle. I am going to appear for 30 seconds. And I'm going to ask you what you want. Please don't ask for any more wishes. Please don't ask for money because it won't make you happier. And please, you cannot wish for somebody else. This is for you. What would you write? What will you write down on that piece of paper? And every morning and every night, so this is a continual action. Every morning and every night, you must read it out. So you must tell the universe what it is that you want. And I absolutely guarantee you it will come true. I've done this exercise with 33,000 people so far, and I have results. And I aim to do it for 7 billion people.
Great. Okay, good. Let's get that into our community. So as you're part of our HeartPowered Global Nation, if you're not, come and join us. But as we're streaming this also in the HeartPowered Global Nation, just share with us, what is it? What did you write down? What's the major thing you want to create that you wrote down in these 30 seconds, right? Share it with us, because again, we can hold the space together. And also, you know, let us know what you need, what support you need, so we can help you make it happen.
Okay? I'll just give you a very quick one. Be careful, because 95% of people cannot do this exercise, right? So if you need to take time to think what it is that you really want, bearing in mind it will come true, for now, just put down something simple so that you can still do it and practice it. Do not say, I can't do it, please.
Right. Love it, because I think there's always something, and I believe that if we switch off our mind and we just listen to our gut and feel it in our heart, there is a clear answer coming your way because your inner voice will know, right? So I'm really curious, okay, on that day, we challenge you, don't sneak out, right? Don't be one of these 99%, be the 1% that takes action. And don't only take action, share with us, because again, we can all support you, make it happen. And that's what our community is all about, right? Madi, I know a lot of people feel really inspired and want to know more about your story and what you do and the G100 and everything else. Where can they find you? How can they reach you? What's the best way for them to connect with you?
So I'm on all of the social media things, although I've taken time to come off it. It was getting very negative and I don't like that. So I've had a break. I might come back on in a bit. I'm on Facebook and LinkedIn, so you can find me on all of those. And I have the website madisharma.org. And for the book, it's Madi-No-Excuses. Just contact me on through madisharma.org and I'll happily reply to anything and connect. Otherwise, on LinkedIn is the easiest.
I love that. And don't miss this opportunity. This is such an incredible, inspiring lady. It's always running big projects and, just connect with her. And I mean, I'm sure you're going to learn something. And she has a big heart and she always has an open door, as I know. So connect with her, take that opportunity. Madi, one final thought, and you want to round it off as an inspiration for everyone that is with us today?
Yeah, I have to round it off then with my final saying. Gandhi said, "You must be the change you want to see." Madi says, "You must be the change you want to see. No excuses."
No excuses. That rounds it all off. So thank you, Madi, for being with us, for inspiring me and our community. And every time we spend time together, I learn something else about you, and I love your stories and your inspiration. Thank you for being with us. And everyone that's here with us, thank you for being with us on such a regular basis. I hope you feel inspired. I hope you feel the vibe, of being here with us. And we'll be in touch in our HeartPowered Global Nation. So until then, all the best and have a wonderful day. And as I always say at the end, make sure that you speak up, you scale up, and you impact the world in your own amazing way. So keep making your magic and we'll be in touch. All the best. Cheers.